Hello, crafty friends. This is Anya General with Ink, Paper, Scissors. In today's video, I'm sharing 6 quick and easy cards, and I'll be showing you 2 simple techniques to create fast backdrops that are perfect for your letterpress plates. These are great ideas when you want to make something beautiful but don't have hours to spend in your craft room. As always, I'll have a full list of all the products I used linked down below and also over on my blog, where you can find close-up photos and all the details for each card. If you enjoy videos like this, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my upcoming tutorials. And if you'd like to share your creations or connect with other card makers, make sure to join our Facebook group. We'd love to have you there. All right, let's jump right in and get started. Today, I'm working with the Wonder of Oz collection by Spellbinders, and we're going to start by creating our backgrounds. For the first technique, I'll be doing some ink smooshing right on my glass mat. This is one of my favorite quick background techniques because it's fast, easy, and gives you beautiful, unique results every single time. Honestly, in just about 10 minutes, you can have 10 different backgrounds ready to go, each one with its own personality and charm. I'm working on Strathmore Bristol Smooth Watercolor cardstock, which is perfect for this technique, and I'm using Altenew inks for all my smooshing today. I'm starting with Crystal Violet, pressing the ink pad firmly onto my glass mat so I get plenty of ink down. I repeat that same process with Purple Wine and Puffy Heart, 3 gorgeous shades that blend beautifully together. Next, I give the inks a few spritzes of water using my spray bottle. The amount of water you add really determines how soft or intense your colors will be. More water gives you a softer, more blended look, while less water keeps things bolder and more defined. I take my first piece of watercolor cardstock and press it directly into the ink, making sure to move it around slightly to pick up the different colors. I lift it up and take a look. If I'm happy with the coverage, I set it aside to dry, but if I want a little more ink, I simply press it back in. Once that first panel is done, I add a little more water to what's left on the glass mat and press another piece of watercolor cardstock into it. This time, I get a softer, more pastel background because most of the ink was picked up by the first panel. That's one of the things I love about this technique. You get different looks each time without having to remix anything. For my next set of backgrounds, I'm repeating the same process, but this time I'm switching up the colors. I'm using green opal, tide blue, and maple yellow, choosing shades that feel very Wizard of Oz inspired. For the next combo, I go with ruby red, maple yellow, and crystal violet, because what's Oz without a touch of ruby red, right? And finally, I move on to a green color palette, using green opal, grassfield, and parrot. These create such a fresh, vibrant mix, perfect for scenes that remind me of the Emerald City. Once all my backgrounds are done, I lay them out on my glass mat and use my heat gun to speed up the drying process. A little bit of heat helps them dry quickly, and you can immediately see the magic of those watercolor textures coming to life. Once they're completely dry, we're ready to move on to the second technique. For the second technique, I'm switching things up just a bit. This time, I'm applying the ink directly onto my watercolor cardstock instead of smooshing it on my glass mat first. I start by spraying my watercolor cardstock generously with water. You want your paper to be nice and damp for this. The wetter it is, the more movement and blending you'll get from your inks. As a general rule, the more ink and water you add, the more fluid and organic your background will look. I press crystal violet onto my glass mat to release some of that rich pigment. Then I pick it up with a paintbrush and start brushing the ink onto my cardstock. At first, I noticed that my cardstock isn't quite wet enough, so I go back in and spray a few more times with my water bottle. The extra water helps the ink flow and spread more naturally, creating those beautiful watercolor blooms. Next, I move on to Puffy Heart, pressing it onto my glass mat and using my brush again to transfer the color to my cardstock. I make sure to let the pink and purple blend naturally where they meet. That's where you get those soft, dreamy transitions that really make the background come alive. Then I add purple wine, repeating the same process. I dip my brush into the ink, carry it over to the paper, and let the color mix gently with the others. I don't feel like I need to add any more ink, but you could keep adding little touches here and there until you're happy with the overall look, rich, layered, and fluid. Once I'm satisfied with the way my panel looks, I use my heat gun to dry and set the colors. The heat intensifies the pigment slightly and helps lock everything in place, giving you a beautiful painterly background that looks like it took forever, but actually came together in less than 5 minutes. Next, before we move on to creating the cards, I wanted to share a quick tip that might help you keep your tools in great shape. My BetterPress platform tends to get a little messy over time with ink buildup, especially when I'm using archival inks or water-resistant inks such as Versa Fine Clair, which can be really stubborn to remove. Now, I personally avoid using alcohol on the surface because I don't want to risk damaging the finish or affecting the performance of my BetterPress system. Instead, I found something that works beautifully: the Novus Restore Cleaners. These are my go-to cleaning products for my tools, and they do a fantastic job without being harsh. While the archival ink on my BetterPress doesn't come off completely, using these cleaners makes it so much cleaner and brighter than it was before. I also use them regularly on my Misty stamping tool, and it always looks good as new afterward. Here's how I use them. I start with step 1, which removes the surface grime and residue. Then I follow up with step 2, which polishes and removes ink. This is my favorite cleaner out of the set. I rarely have to reach for step 3, but for my BetterPress platform, since I'm working with archival ink, it's absolutely worth it. That third cleaner really helps lift those deeper ink stains and gives everything a fresh, clean look again. It's such a simple routine, but it makes a big difference in keeping your tools clean and lasting longer. Next, I'm moving into the BetterPress process itself, one of my favorite parts of this project. I'm starting with the Wonder of Oz frame and tag plate from Spellbinders. I place it right in the center of the outlined area on my BetterPress platform, making sure it's perfectly aligned. I like to take a quick moment here to check that everything is straight. Once it's positioned correctly, I add one of the ink-smooshed background onto the platform. I secure my paper with a small piece of Best Craft tape just to keep it from shifting during the press. Because this panel is larger than A2, I can tape it in the corner without affecting my BetterPress impression. But if I was working with an A2 panel, I would place the tape behind the cardstock to make sure that it is not in the way. Then I ink up my plate using the Versa Fine Clair Nocturne ink, making sure to get a nice even coat across the entire design. Once the plate is inked, I close the lid and run it through my Platinum 6 die cutting machine with 2 shims. I am using shims because I am using watercolor cardstock today, rather than the thicker cotton paper that Spellbinders recommends. When I lift the lid, the result is always so satisfying. That crisp, debossed letterpress image sitting beautifully over the hand-inked background. It's such a fast and elegant way to add texture and detail to your cards, and the combination of the loose watercolor backdrop with the precision of the BetterPress plate makes every piece feel special. I repeat this process with another ink-smooshed background and then move on to the Wonder of Oz sentiments, where I follow the same process but this time using white cardstock. Next, I'll let you enjoy the card-making process with some music. In this portion of the video, you'll see me create the yellow brick road for one of the cards and how I incorporate it into one of the die-cut designs. I'll be back a little later to wrap up the video and share the finished cards with you. If you have any questions along the way, be sure to leave them in the comments. I always love hearing from you, and I'll make sure to reply. And there you have it, 6 beautiful cards created using the glass smooshing and watercolor technique. I hope you enjoyed seeing how these techniques can create stunning, unique backgrounds and bring your die cuts to life with vibrant color and texture. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know in the comments which card was your favorite, and also share your thoughts on these Wizard of Oz products. Will you be purchasing any of these? If you'd like to support my channel, you can use my affiliate links in the description below. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it helps me continue creating free tutorials and content like this. Every click and purchase truly helps me keep making videos for you. I'm also working toward my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year, so if you enjoy my content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, share my channel with a friend, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. Until next time, happy crafting!